Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in Marvel Mystic Mayhem, I've got a lot of questions about starter teams, so that's what we're going to take a look at. We got a lot of great characters that we get early on, plus an awesome one for pre-registration rewards. So we're going to talk about some of the best starter teams you can make, and then one that has become recently my favorite, not starter team, but definitely later game team that I'm having a blast with. There's a lot to discuss here, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Really quick, just a couple things before we jump into the list. I've got one more spot open for somebody to use my invitation code. So if you want to check the game out, use my code here or the QR code down here. No, this is not a sponsored video. Everybody can generate this. And by doing this, inviting people into the game, everybody gets rewards, which I think is pretty cool. Let me show you how to get into this. Go to this up here, click on it. Go to this toggle down here at the bottom left. Go to gather up, and then you're going to hit invite friends. You've got the code here. You can go ahead and copy that and put it into anything. You can also generate this thing that I was just showing you with the QR code and everything. You can share that as well. So definitely invite some people into the game. This is a fun game. I'm having a blast with it. Second thing, really quick, my Discord. Link is in the description below. We are building an awesome Marvel Mystic Mayhem community over on my Discord. We're sharing tips, tricks, guides. I've got my stuff over there as well. I'm going to have screenshots of like my tier list, all that stuff over there. My beginners tips are over there as well. Everybody just sharing their experiences in the game, their luck with summons. It's a fun start to the game, and the community is absolutely awesome. So definitely head over there, check it out. Let's jump into this, my list. This list is built using characters that you're just naturally going to get really early in the game. So I'm going to share with you my 4 favorite teams, and then the 5th team is one that I've recently discovered that is a blast, and it's one of my favorite teams to use in a number of different game modes. So let's check it out. So I'm going to jump into here. I already put the teams together. I'm going to go to Create Team, and let's go ahead and run through this. So we've got Misty Knight, Sleepwalker, and Hulk. We've got a Defender, we've got a Controller, and we've got a Striker here. This team is really good early on. You're definitely going to keep them built up. This is going to give you a mix of special and physical damage. So if you're not familiar, orange here is a physical damage dealer, and then your blue here is your special damage dealers. That comes in handy a little bit later on, especially when we talk about that 5th team. In here, we got a good mix, like I said, of special and physical damage dealers. We got some nice AoE damage. Everybody on this team does some AoE damage. You also got some good sustainability with healing with Sleepwalker, as well as Hulk. Just to run through their kits here really quick, couple things to call out. One thing I love about Misty Knight, she's got this attack here that applies Bale Mark on an enemy, and that when that enemy dies, you gain 1 mana when that enemy is defeated. In this game, if you can get mana back or reduce the cost of other skills, that is going to be the most efficient way to play this game. That also brings up the question, auto battle versus manually controlling your team. There's a place for auto battle. You can auto battle quite a bit, especially if you're overpowered for a lot of areas. You can auto battle almost anything. When it comes to manual play, when you want to punch up, when you're going into that most difficult farming dungeon, maybe it's Battle Bonanza, and you need a 3-star that mode, that hardest difficulty, then you may want to manual that battle so that you can guarantee that 3-star. What that's going to give you is by 3-starring that, you're going to get a multiplier that you can use so that you can run that dungeon fewer times for more rewards. It's also going to allow you to just auto win those battles as well. So definitely some benefits from manual battling, just more efficient, get higher damage. So it really just depends on the battle. So we got this debuff, which is nice. We got her attack here. Does some nice damage. This is damage in a target area, so you're going to damage multiple enemies, and then you've got her attack right here as well. Right here, she reloads after every basic attack. So increasing her attack speed is definitely a plus. The next basic attack deals 82% more damage. So increased attack speed for her is definitely a cool thing. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about Sleepwalker here really quick. So his ultimate is this AoE special damage attack, which is kind of nice. We got a buff here that applies Dream Power to an ally. That increases the damage of the next skill used. And then we've got his heal right here. We've also got this. Heals an ally with the lowest HP percentage, restoring an amount equal to 9.6% of Sleepwalker's max HP. So when we start talking about gearing and things like that, we definitely want to start paying attention to their abilities and what is used more. So like for him, You take a look at his heal. It's based off Sleepwalker's max HP, so you want to buff his HP so he does more healing, things like that. All right, and then next, we'll go over the Hulk really quick here. Cool things here. We got a debuff here that increases the amount of damage. Actually, sorry, it reduces the damage that the enemy does to the Hulk, which is nice. We've also got an attack here with a knockback. One thing to be careful of in the knockback, especially with auto battle, is if you're setting up for a nice AoE damage area, sometimes that knockback will knock the enemy out of that damage area. So something to keep in mind, especially when you're auto battling. And then we've got some nice self-healing with him. Regeneration, 10 seconds, restores 2% of his of max HP per second, which is nice. Always good to have a self-healing tank with some assistance from Sleepwalker to do some additional healing there, and some nice damage. So you got some nice AoE with this team. This team will work pretty well for you early on. The next team we're going to talk about, we're going to go through these other teams a little bit quicker because we've already talked about some of the characters. So we talked about the Hulk. We got Hulk, Lady Bullseye, and Psylocke. Psylocke you get from pre-registration rewards, so go to your in-game mail, grab her, build her. You will not be disappointed. She's good. So we got physical damage dealing with Lady Bullseye. We've got Psylocke with some special damage along with Hulk. One thing to call out about this team is the follow-up attacks, which is very, very nice. So we won't go over the Hulk. We just did. Very good self-healing tanks. Got some knockback. Let's talk about Lady Bullseye. I think one thing to keep in mind as we're building our teams too are the cost of the skills. Her attack here is expensive. It's 5 mana. Now the benefit is that the more that you use this attack, it reduces in mana cost down to mana of 3. But that's where I feel that she's much better in the longer battles, so that you can take advantage of that mana cost reduction of hers. But hey, so she's got this. Deals 450% of Lady Bullseye's attack as physical damage to an enemy. Reduces the mana cost of the next Katana Slash, which is this. She's got this buff here. Again, when you're thinking about auto attack and manually controlling your heroes, check this out. So this buff here gains invisible for 3 seconds and increases the chance of a follow-up attack from solitary target to 100%. Right? For 7 seconds. Invisible, she can't be targeted by enemies. What's follow-up? Let's take a look at this. Solitary target. After an ally attacks with a skill or an ultimate, Lady Bullseye has a 50% chance to perform a follow-up attack, which means she does damage. 96% of her attack is physical damage. It's a 50% chance, so it's not a 100% chance. This is, again, where we think about manually controlling this character here. You do your buff. So use her 2-cost buff attack. Use a skill or ultimate of another character, and then she has a 100% chance to do that follow-up. So just an efficient way to play on her skills. And then she's got this attack here. Does quite a bit of damage. Increases Lady Bullseye's crit rate by 20%, which is nice, for 10 seconds upon defeating an enemy. So she's really good. So follow-up attack there. Let's go ahead and talk about Psylocke as well. With her, she's got this as well. So at the start of battle, gains Butterfly Shadow. After an ally uses a skill or ultimate move to attack an enemy, Psylocke consumes Butterfly Shadow and dashes to the enemy with the lowest HP. So she has a follow-up attack as well. So you got multiple follow-up attacks here. Let's talk about a couple of her abilities here. This dash, a 2-cost dash, moves to an enemy and deals 275% of Psylocke's attack as special damage. Ignores shield, which is nice. Something to keep in mind when you're building your teams as well. Also, she gains Butterfly Shadow, which is her follow-up attack here. So you want that on here. So again, manual combat, right? Do your dash, get that Butterfly Shadow, so you set up that next follow-up attack. We got this dash here too. This is a 3-cost dash. So we're going to do some damage. Also, we're going to do some damage to some adjacent enemies, so you got a little bit wider attack there. And then she gains Butterfly Shadow as well and increases her damage by 20%. Both dashes are going to give her a chance to build that Butterfly Shadow to do her follow-up attack. And then her ultimate here, pretty nice. Nice AoE damage. Psychic Mark here, so applying Psychic Mark up to 3 stacks. So when hit by Psylocke's basic or skill, 1 stack detonates, dealing 88% of Psylocke's attack as special damage to the target. So she's got a nice kit here as well. This is kind of a step up from this last team right here, except this team has more healing. This one is more focused on damage with a little bit more, with a little bit of sustainability and self-healing from the Hulk. So pretty nice team here. Let's talk about the third team. Everybody's wondering, well, what about armor? This is cool. So armor, we're going to get into a couple very specialized teams here. This one is, as you can see, all physical. When you start getting into some of the more some battles, you are going to have enemies that are going to be all physical damage dealing type enemies. So you want to meet them with physical damage dealing teams so that you do more damage. Same with special damage teams. So I put a couple of teams together for you. This one's a lot of fun. This one here, we've got taunts, shields, vulnerable. We've got follow-up mechanics, and we've also got a stun, which is nice. Let's talk about armor. She's pretty good. I do like her. This right here, her passive reduces all damage taken by 16%, just right off the top. She's got this shield here, gains a shield equal to 264% of armor's defense. So when you build her with her highlights and her artifacts, you definitely want to build up her defense. Also, she's got this taunt, which is very nice. Not all tanks have taunts, like the Hulk doesn't have a taunt. But that's nice for 6 seconds. We have this attack here. Her attack is also based off her defense. So as you build her defense up, not only is she getting her shield getting stronger, she's doing more damage as well. She also has a nice stun. That's definitely helpful. Her ultimate here, she gains this beast armor. So it turns basic attacks into AoE attacks and increases attack and attack speed by 42%, which is nice. That lasts for 10 seconds. So she's a pretty nice, she's got a nice kit for sustainability, keeping the enemy's attention, and also doing some good attacks. So pretty nice. We already talked about Lady Bullseye and the follow-up attack mechanic, which is pretty nice. Doppelganger, let's talk about him. I like him. He's got vulnerable, which increases the amount of damage an enemy takes. So his passive right here, he gains dodge for every 10% of HP lost. So for the longer battles, I mean, if you don't have a team, like this team here has 0 healing. This is a damage dealing team. If you need a healer, obviously you're going to bring a healer in. You're going to adjust these teams based on the battle that you're going into. But this team here, so he's got, this helps because you don't have a healer. He's going to have that dodge. He's going to gain more dodge. He's got this nice attack here. And then this dash here, which is his debuff, which, let's see, moves to an enemy dealing 190% of Doppelganger's attack as physical damage and increasing their damage taken by 30%. That's that vulnerable debuff I was talking about. And then his buff here, he enters this Savage Spider status for 12 seconds. It increases his attack speed by 120%, which is insane. Also, Ferocious Fist and Swinging Kick cost 1 less mana. So another way to reduce the mana cost of skills so that you can launch more attacks. Again, this is a higher damage dealing team. If you need more sustainability, you're going to swap out. You're going to either, you'll put in some sort of healer in here. So a nice alternative for this one, if you need some healing, is you can bring in Moon Knight. You can actually pull out Doppelganger. I'd pull out Doppelganger rather than Lady Bullseye. And then I'd swap in Moon Knight if you need some healing. So he's a good alternate for this one. All right, next one is a special damage team. This one's a lot of fun here. So we got heals, we got follow-up mechanics, we got damage reduction, we got knockback. We've talked about all 3 of these characters already. This is a full special damage team. Very nice team to put together. I think when you take a look at teams that you can put together, the more characters that you can swap in and out of teams. Well, hold on. Let me put it this way. The fewer characters that you have to build in order to, and still get the most amount of teams created is definitely a plus. So there you go. That's what I had for those teams. Let's talk about my favorite team so far now. This is it. This is awesome. We have Sentry. We have Emma Frost. We have Scarlet Witch. So this is a later game, more of a mid to late game team, only because Sentry and Emma Frost, you have to summon them to get them. There are higher chances for Sentry summons right now through the Iron Man banner. Scarlet Witch you can purchase if you want. I definitely think if you're investing in the game, purchasing her and her highlight when that offer comes up is definitely worth it. Emma Frost is actually fantastic. She shines when you put her in a special damage team because she buffs these characters. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about them a little bit. Emma Frost, boom. Let's talk about her right here. All allies deal a 12.9% more special damage. That's huge. That's why I prefer to have her in a special damage team. She's got a decent heal here. Heals the ally with the lowest HP for 338% of her attack. So you want to boost her attack when you put highlights and artifacts on her to boost her healing. She's got a debuff here. This is pretty cool. So it deals 312% of Emma Frost's attack as special and applies Confused. the confused characters will attack their allies. That's always fun, right? And then you got this attack here as her ultimate. This is fun. She does quite a bit of special damage herself to the enemies in a target area and creates a diamond shard in the center. Up to one of the shards can exist for 10 seconds. The diamond shard increases the special damage taken by nearby enemies. She is a special damage team buffer, and she does a fantastic job at it. So, definitely a plus. Let's talk about Sentry. Sentry, oh my gosh. My favorite character in the game right now has to be. He is an amazing tank. He does some amazing damage. When I was doing my tier list, I put him in the A plus S range. I am going more towards S with this guy now. He just does absolutely amazing. And let's take a look at his kit really quick. When allies consume mana, so when your team is just using their skills, Sentry gains an equal amount of 6 million suns, up to 6 stacks. At max million suns, then the Sentry's next skill is enhanced, gaining 30.1% damage. When using the enhanced skill, Sentry consumes all million suns and gains a stack of Void Surge, up to 5 stacks. What is that? Let's talk about that here. Dash. So moves to the target area, does some damage. Let's see, does some damage to some adjacent enemies as well. He gains a shield, which is phenomenal. It's helped out quite a bit, especially when I got it really low on health. When it's enhanced by when Million Suns is full, he gains 30% more shield. Manually controlling this team or autoing both work very well, but definitely you'll have more efficiency with manually controlling this team's abilities. Attack here. So we're going to do some attack. Taunts all enemies for 6 seconds, which is awesome. And when it's enhanced, right, it increases the range, which is very nice. The attack here, his ultimate here, does so much damage. It's crazy. So does damage to enemies in the target area and stuns them. Deals 10% more damage for each stack of Void Surge. I don't think Void Surge goes away at all. I don't think you lose it. You get up to your 5 stacks and you're good. That's 50% more damage on this ultimate here. Very cool stuff. I love this guy. Scarlet Witch, let's talk about her real quick. She's both single target and AoE damage dealer. So just running through it, there's crit damage increases by 1 point, for every 1% of crit rate. You want to build her as a crit rate hero. Focus on crit rate for her. Her highlights, her artifacts, all of that. All right, this buff here is pretty nice. Gains rewrite reality for 10 seconds. So gains an extra 25.8% crit rate, ignoring passive ability limitations. Passive ability limitations right here cannot exceed 50%. This ignores that, and you go way past that, right? Then you do that. You follow up with this attack here. You do so much damage. This is single target damage. And then her attack here. This isn't like the whole game board, but this is a target area AoE damage that does quite a bit of damage as well. I love this team. I've been able to burn through. I've been able to 3-star a lot of the harder content when it comes to the farming dungeons with this team. It's just a lot of fun to play. All right, everybody, this video is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to share some really good starter teams with you and maybe something that you're interested in building with this team. My favorite team so far in the game. All right, everybody, very curious. What are your thoughts? What are your favorite starter teams? And as we're getting into the mid-game right now, what are some of your favorite mid-game teams? All right, everybody, that's what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.